Hey everybody, I'm Jason and welcome back to From Tree to Lumber. Today I'm going to mill my second log on the new HD36V2 and at the same time make my very first usable project. And that's going to be a set of cribs to put underneath the jacks that support the mill. I hope you enjoyed the process. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so right in this snowbank, right there, is a chunk of, I think it's a white oak. It's destined for firewood. I need to make a couple of pads to fit underneath those jacks on the sawmill. So I thought, you know what, let's look through the firewood pile and see what I have. And I know that that right there is a very solid piece of wood, but I think it's got a lot of knots and branches and stuff. So, you know, that's a good slab it. Let's just slab it and see what we get. Hopefully I can get some pads. So I got this crazy triple crotch thing going on here. I've got a couple limbs coming up straight, going down straight-ish. Nice little straight piece in the middle, and then this side's pretty plain. I wonder how long it is. I'm gonna take another look at it and I'm going to measure. That's going to matter. Okay. I think I'm going to put it so that this side here is down. Like that's relatively flat already to begin with over here. And then I can just slice that thing off in a couple of pulls. Yeah, let's measure this thing out. I'll put it back down on the ground. Then I will rotate it 90 degrees, I guess, to the left and pick it up again. But maybe I'll put it on the ground, measure it, and then put it back up on the sawmill, depending on where the bunks are going to land. So to here we've got 8'11". That's nice. All the way to the end here is almost 10 feet, but that's going to get cut off. Okay, so at this end, that's about 14 inches across. There's two limbs. There's one there, and there's one there that would be the widest 2 points. I kind of put the tape across to guess. I don't think it's any more than 26 or 28 inches, so that should be fine. You can see the condition of this log. Like it was, I'm pretty sure this was standing dead. Now this is quite high up on the tree, so I expect this should be pretty solid. Formerly, I would have cut this into firewood, but that's because it would have been too big for my OS 18. I might have maybe tried to take that center piece out, you know, and get some boards there. But now that I have a mill that'll cut 30 inches or 36-inch trees, I'm looking at my firewood a little bit differently, you know? Okay, let's load her up and see what we can get done here. All right, something I just realized, just learned. The hooks on the back of my bucket just make it to where the stops are. But if I'm not careful, I bounce the carriage with the tractor, which I did, by the way. I kind of rubbed into the tire, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll check everything again anyway, because, you know, these pads are just sitting on snow, so, you know, this is just a temporary setup. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with it right there, but I have to be very careful with that. I'll just unchain it, and I think I'll just slide it across and put it in position. For those that know me, this won't surprise you, but I kind of like to keep my machines maintained as opposed to chasing down problems later. So I've cut one small log with it. And like I say, this is all just a shakedown, just make sure everything's going as it should before I go into the real world with it. So I'm going to take the covers off. I'm going to give a little bit of grease to the big wheels. It's really nice that they've given me that option rather than like the sealed ones on the OS 18, which I've gone through a few now. And I'm also just going to take a look around, make sure everything's okay, you know. Only takes a second, and I think it's worth the time. Since this is only the second time I've greased these up, the first time being the original time, I kind of figured it would want a little bit more, just because everything's seated a little bit and all the air bubbles have worked out. So I'm not surprised that it took like 4 or 5 pumps, but everything should be good now, and I'll be very regular about that. I'll keep them greased. Okay, that's how I like my tracking. It looks like it's sticking out way more than it actually is. If you look at it straight down, I like to space my little gullet right with the face of the actual wheel. If you feel around behind, the back of it is just over the outside edge, and then the gullet is kind of right on that line. I don't know, it just works for me. That's how I set my tracking on these things. First thing I'm going to do is move it up as high as I can and take that off. Maybe get a little slab out of that, kind of a cool shape. We'll see how it goes. Kind of a cool piece. You can see the quarter sawn effect with the rays. You know, got that in the center. It'll probably crack, but we'll just dry it out, and who knows, fully fish on it maybe. Not sure if you saw it, but the log was vibrating a little bit, so it wasn't as tight as it should be. And I noticed that the bark is really thick, so I'm just going to peel some of the bark off. I hope. I've never used this thing before. Maybe I don't even need it. Yeah, see, that wasn't getting through to getting a nice bite in there. There we go, that's a better bite. Perfect. Turns out that this log is way harder than I expected it to be. I'm sure the bigger engine will probably let me feed it a little bit faster than this, but I'm kind of reluctant to push it. It's just going to take a while for me to get a real feel for this machine. It's got so much more power than the other one. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's some really cool grain patterns and figure going on in here. You know, lots of swirling around, and I think they call that a feather. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another 2-inch slab off of this and just use this for dunnage, but I'll keep the end maybe 4 feet and throw that in the barn and dry it. So that last blade was the first one I put in. I've only cut one log with it. It was an ash. And honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that blade at all. It was bucking just a little bit, but this is a frozen white oak log, which is no kind of easy task. I suspect it's perfectly fine, but I really want to try these Stellite blades because I saw them at a demo once, and I was really amazed at the quality of the cut and apparently how long they last. And they're really not, I don't know, that much more money. I'll have to check on it, but they're not that bad. So let's see what the difference is. It's more about a test to see what the difference is than anything being wrong with that other blade. It's perfectly fine still. Still a lot to learn about this mill. I got to get used to the feeling of it, you know, like the number of cranks to tension it. I'm used to the other one where, you know, I kind of felt this little washer, but now I'm trying to develop a system. So there it's starting to catch. So I give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's getting noticeably difficult. And then I go like 6. So it's still turning, but it's about as tight as it's going to go. And then I'll just check the tracking again. Should be exactly the same, but I always do this when I put a new blade in. Awesome. Awesome. So I'll put the covers back on, see how it goes. There are those that have hit their guides with their saw blade, and there are those that haven't yet. And I kind of believe that. So this is too close. If it was 2-inch cut, I'd hit that. So I've gotten in the habit of checking these things quite regularly, and it has saved me, both in blades and, I don't know, I just don't like nicking up the guides. That blade was kind of skipping through and not cutting smoothly. I have a feeling that is, well, it's possibly because this log is frozen solid. I'm not going to lie to you, but it also might be because I don't think this was maybe mounted as hard as it could be solid. It seemed to be the whole thing was skipping through. I think the wood was catching it somehow, and my guess is it's just not set up properly. I'm going to just flip it over, see what I can get. I think this knob here is going to have to get cut off because it's going to stick out way too far. Another thing I like about this mill, there's a lot of great places to stick the GoPro. I like to put it in harm's way, you know. You get the best footage when you're taking a chance. Piece I'm left with, it's about 3.5 inches thick. I don't know, it's not really good for anything in my opinion, but you never know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of stick that somewhere and let it dry out. If worst comes to worst, I'll use it for dunnage, right? But I don't know, I don't have an immediate use for it, so there's no sense in cutting it up just right now. And there's some cool stuff going on, so I don't know, maybe who knows, I don't know what I'll do with it. I'm a pack rat when it comes to wood, I have to be honest. I ended up with 10 pieces of cribbing, which is really more than I need for this mill, but I'm sure they'll come in really handy as time goes on. In addition to that, I got about a half dozen really nice slabs with some really interesting figure to add to my ever-growing inventory, which I'm now keeping down at my uncle's barn.
As always, the cutoffs go into the firewood pile, which we use to heat the house. Nothing wasted.
This is the finished product, or almost finished product. It's a solid 2 inches thick, 7 inches wide, and 15 inches long. And then what I did is I put a nylon rope into it. So I just drilled a couple holes, tied a couple knots. Now I am going to dry these out for a month somewhere in the house that's, you know, appropriate. And I'm probably just going to soak them in oiled linseed oil or something once they've got a bit of dryness to them. They won't be going out in use for at least another 2 or 3 months, so I'd kind of like them to dry up a little bit.
So there you go, my first practical project on the new mill. Even though they're not perfect, well, you know, they just don't need to be. The most important thing is that it all worked out and that the mill was able to do the work I asked of it. In retrospect, the hard seasoned frozen white oak was probably the hardest thing I could have chosen to start with. Maybe I will try something a little bit easier next time, but it was fun. That's all for this video, so thank you very much for watching.